Welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 causes of human suffering. I just had an amazing mentoring session with a client of mine where this came up, and it was a powerful discovery that this person made in regards to healing internal data, internal suffering that has been going on within her for a long time. So I want to share something that's been really powerful for me as well. This learning really helped to pull me out of a very dark place in my life when I was dealing with Lyme's disease and 5 other autoimmune illnesses at the time. I did not realize that it had everything to do with your perceptions and your beliefs. And so today we're going to talk a little bit about the 5 causes of human suffering. Hi, my name is Janet. I am a quantum healing practitioner and I'm a soul self-restoration coach. And what I do is I help take people to the uncharted waters, I guess, or maybe even the outer edges of who they really are for healing and for transformation. Mostly what I do inside of my private Facebook group, Greater Life, Greater Impact, I have a course in there that I've created for people to benefit from where they can really learn hands-on applicable tools to help them to impact their health in an incredibly positive way. And I'm noticing that a lot more people are becoming disenfranchised with the medical model. We're tired of taking drugs. We're tired of being masked. We're tired of having organs and body parts removed from us, and we want answers. We want to get to the root of what's really going on inside of our bodies. We want to know what our bodies are saying to us and about us. And so that's what this group, Greater Life, Greater Impact, is really all about. So today, the 5 causes of human suffering. I did not make these up. These come out of the Eastern philosophies of just ancient wisdom traditions, that these truths, these teachings have been around for centuries. So I want to share them with you today. Hopefully this will ring true to you and help pull you out of maybe if you're in a place of suffering or misery or you're struggling with something in your life. Hopefully this will create a little bit of balm to your suffering. So the first cause of human suffering, number 1, is not knowing who you really are. You have no idea who the true self really is. I want to illustrate with this. Several years ago, I had a couple of near-death, out-of-body experiences, and I gained some perspective as to who I really am. I learned that I am not what goes on inside of the stage of my mind. I'm not my past. I'm not my mistakes. I'm not my physical body. I mean, those things are a part of me. They come with me, but that is not the true root core to who you really are. Who you are is the light that shines through all of that. So if you can learn how to tap into that and access that part of yourself, you're tapping into God, you're tapping into divine intelligence, you're tapping into wisdom that you didn't know you had access to. So, and that part of you is infinite. And what that means is on a higher, more aware, spiritually aware level, there somewhere inside of you is a more true representation of authenticity, of who you really are, where you came from, who you're patterned after, which is God. It's deity, right? And God has even said, I am the same yesterday, today, and forever. Well, since you are the offspring of a living being, a living God, you are the same yesterday, today, and forever on that level. Okay. The problem is we live in a mortal world where everything's temporary, and we're going to talk about that as well. But if you can understand tools for how to grasp and how to get access to the deeper levels of your being and your soul on a very truly authentic level, then you can access deity. You can access truth. You can access divine wisdom and intelligence. You can heal your physical body, your bank account, your relationships. That part of you doesn't die. It doesn't know how to. It can't end because it's infinite. And if you think about what infinity really is, it doesn't run out of time. It doesn't know what time is. It can't lose anything. It can't have anything taken from it. So on that level, knowing all of those things and being able to tap into the infinite nature of your soul, what do you have to worry about? If you can't die, you can't lose anything, nothing can be taken from you, and you can't be late, or you can't run out of time. There is no threat to infinity. Nothing can possibly threaten you on a true self level. So if you can learn how to tap into that part of yourself, you can eliminate probably 90% of your human suffering you experience today. Because a lot of the suffering is because you've created false beliefs about yourself that aren't even true. Okay, number 2, the second cause of human suffering is expectations, meaning clinging to something that really can't be clung to. Setting up unhealthy expectations of people or life experiences, trying to grasp for or cling to something that you can't control. So we all know we can't control the universe. We can't control other people. We can't control how they treat us or what they say to us or how life unfolds. You can't necessarily even control your external circumstances. However, you can influence those things, but we don't get to control the universe. So if you don't understand that, it's a lot like going to an arcade, not putting money into a game and then using the controls and then thinking that you're controlling what's going on the screen, but then you realize, oh, like I'm not really affecting anything that's happening on the screen because I didn't put my money in. Once you realize that you don't have any control over the screen and you don't have any money, then the only thing that you can really do at that point is to let go and to allow it to play out the way that it's going to play out. So I call this step, this phase of human suffering, clinging to things that you have no control over. You think you're trying to control those things. You think that you are in charge of other things, other people, these experiences that play out in the world around you, but you really don't. So if you can allow yourself to let go of all, I guess the word is neediness, clinginess, wantiness. It's letting go of the codependent nature within you. If you can let go of attachments and expectations that you've put on things, you can live your life free, much more free of human suffering. Usually it's in the expectations that are never met. People don't ever measure up. They always let you down because you've put unhealthy expectations on the world around you that you can't control, right? So let go. Let go of the attachments and let life play out the way that it needs to. It doesn't mean that you can't set goals. It doesn't mean that you can't set intentions. But putting unhealthy expectations and unhealthy attachments to things is a setup for human suffering. Number 3 is the fear of losing something. It's the fear of stepping into the impermanence of something. So in this, all of these go back up to this. If you know who you are on a soul level, on an authentic, infinite level, then there is no threat. You can't lose anything because you already are everything. You understand that you are infinite. So nothing can be taken from you. You can't lose anything. You can't die. You are everything that you think that you need. You already are. So they all ripple up. They all trickle up to this number 1, right? Number 4, this also trickles up to number 1, but it's a little bit different. So number 1 is not really knowing who you are. Number 4 is creating a false identity for yourself based on the pains of the past, or based on what everybody else is doing, or based on what other people project onto you, their expectations of you, based on what you want to make happen or what you want to create in your life. So creating a false identity for yourself usually happens up here in the mind. It's based on beliefs and programming and culture and family and religion and all kinds of other things that put upon you. And so you create a false identity for yourself, thinking that those things, those beliefs, those behaviors are you. We see this a lot in religious culture. Like, maybe if I do enough, Someday I will be enough. It doesn't work that way. You already are everything that you think you need, and you already are everything that you think you're trying to attain or become. So it's more a matter of remembering yourself on a higher level than it is um, forcing yourself to become. Does that make sense? So, creating a false identity for yourself usually happens in the ego, in the mind, a false identity for yourself, and having that disconnect with who you really are, and then trying to force yourself to be something that you're not, is one of the greatest causes of human suffering. So, if you can let go of that, tap into that, it'll change your life. And the last one, I don't know if you can see it. It's death, the fear of death, fear of dying, fear of losing something again, right? Fear of the impermanence or the limitations and the lack. So, fear of death. Let's talk about death. What is death then? So, if you are coming from the perspective of the true self, that higher self, the infinite self, then you know there is no such thing as death. And you can let go of the worry and the fear of that because you know that you're infinite and that you're eternal. Anywhere inside of you that you are out of alignment with your higher self, or also the connection that you have to God or deity, anywhere you're out of alignment with that truth of who you really are, it's going to create biological and chemical consequences. Those things come with consequences, and it will typically show up in your body. So in my private group, Greater Life, Greater Impact, this is exactly what we talk about. I give you tools and I give you resources and I give you applicable means or ways that you can apply these things, the way that you can let go of all these things and tap into this thing so that you can live your life literally free from human suffering. Yeah, you literally can. I'm actually going to say that. Like I believe that you can get yourself to a point, an internal state where you're so tapped into who you really are and who God is that you could literally be walking through a minefield and bombs are going off all around you. And you're like, it is what it is, and I'm okay. I'm an infinite being. What do I have to worry about? Right? So we apply these principles in Greater Life, Greater Impact on the level of how does this affect your physical body? How does this translate into symptoms that will show up in your body, your bank account, your relationships, and in the external world around you? And what can I do to eliminate the need for all of this suffering? Anywhere inside of your body and inside of your cells where you're storing information that's out of alignment with truth or love, because that's what you really are on the highest level, is you're pure love, pure light. That's who you really are. So anywhere inside of you where you're storing information or data on your hard drive that is out of alignment with that, then you're going to experience suffering. You're going to experience sickness. You're going to experience the death of cells or disharmony. The cells won't get along because there's distortion there. So you've got to go inside, look for that distortion, find it, move it out of the way, change it, transform it. There's lots of different ways to do this work. But I always tell my students, every human being is responsible for what goes on inside of you. When you experience human suffering, you are responsible for how it plays out inside of you. You are responsible for how you feel. And you are also responsible for going inside and doing that inner work so that you no longer have the need to suffer. So I hope you got a ton of value out of this class today. If you want to learn these tools and take them even deeper, please private message me and I'll give you details on how to join Greater Life, Greater Impact, where we go live every Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time and talk about these things. And I give you ways to actually apply them to your life so that you can experience healing in your body and amongst your family. The last thing that I want to mention before I just jump off here is you as a being, as a true identity, a soul, an energy, a spirit, a conscious spirit, you are the steward over 50 trillion cells. They are like your individual little babies, right? 50 trillion cells that make up your human body, your physical body. And you are responsible to be the steward over every one of those cells. How in the world can you ever expect to develop into godhood and have stewardship over kingdoms and principalities if you cannot be a righteous steward over this body and get this body in alignment with wholeness and with truth? And that is exactly what we teach inside of the group. Hi, Mandy. Nice to see you on here. Hi, Amy. Yes, this is much needed information. It is my passion and my purpose and my mission to put this information out into the world so people can benefit from it and so that people can go inside and do their inner work, because you're responsible to do it yourself. Nobody's going to parachute down out of heaven and do it for you. And not one of us is going to enter into the kingdom of God or the presence of God carrying around garbage and baggage and I'm not enoughs and I'm not worthy and I'm not whatever, right? Whatever the beliefs are, the emotions are, the feelings are, the suffering is, we are not meant to suffer. We're not meant to stay in a place of suffering. We came here to learn suffering, but to overcome it. And these are the ways that you overcome human suffering so that you can step into the presence of God. All right. Hope you guys got some value. If you did, please like, share, and comment, and send this off to the rest of the internet for people that you care about so that they can benefit from it too. And we'll talk to you later. See ya. Bye.